I was just going to look. Hold on. I always forget. Bianca. Zambolo. I like saying that word. So sorry. I really
I think they like
I've been to South Africa 5 times. And every time pleasure. Just pleasure. And yeah, I'd go back in a heartbeat. But yeah, I haven't been on I haven't been to Sun City. I have a Sun City right around the corner from me, but I haven't been to Sun City, South Africa. And so that would be a goal. But and I want to go to Nigeria, or if it's Kenya, right on the border there, to the Giraffe Hotel. One of my clients' uncle owns that one. Hi, Aaron. How are you? Um, anyway, working with Moebius cerebral palsy, Moebius syndrome. So another thing is that very similar that you would look at is EDS. So what you're looking at when you're dealing with Moebius is when the connective tissue gets creative. What are the cons? Again, these are things that you might not see, but I've seen with my clients. Sleeping, waking up, it could be more painful. So if they wake up irritable, because when you wake up, like the connective tissue, you know what I mean, and it stretches, and so you go to wake up and it's like you want to put your parts back in. That can be very uncomfortable. You see that pain base with EDS as well. I will say with those kind of things, really with this work is really, again, very beneficial that way, because you don't almost want the massage because it messes with the connective tissue. So you can't go in, you need that type of movement lesson touch with the rotational. The cerebral palsy technically comes from brain trauma to the brain, but they might be giving you the cerebral palsy also because of just the mobility issues that are caused by the Moebius. It doesn't matter. Take the diagnosis and run. If it helps get you services, it helps, like some people go, oh, like in Arizona, you can only have, and I get it, you're in South Africa versus here but in Arizona, you can, for long-term care after 6, you have to have epilepsy, cerebral palsy, cognitive impairment, or autism. And so like someone with spina bifida could lose services, but I'm like, get the cerebral palsy diagnosis. My child doesn't have cerebral palsy, they have spina bifida. I don't care. If they can't get out of the wheelchair and go open that door, that's a neuromuscular condition. A lot of laws on the books were written back in the 1930s. They didn't know about Moebius, they didn't know about CDKL5, they didn't know about SMA or spina bifida. So sometimes we just have to play the game. And that's what we have to also too. A lot of people just don't know about. Like I've worked on so much, and so like I love when people come here. You've never seen this before, yeah, I've had. Or I can compare. And when you are a new parent, comparison does help because it's like what's going on, what's not going on, what you're working on, where you're here. But please, it's really important that you know your child. So that's why too you're getting the low tone. The low tone is a genetics thing, whereas a high tone is a birth trauma. So you might not have had the birth trauma. You'll need to know this because it makes a difference on the cognitive, the neuromapping, on the visual, where you can have complications due to the damage to the brain, or you're just having complications due to the Moebius. So those are the things you have to know. And this is where, guys, I teach you all this. You need to know your child. You need to know where they are. It's not just a characteristic trait. This is a movement trait, a learning trait, and what's going to proceed into your child's future. And it's really important. So that's what you're going to be working on. You're not going to go any kind of different. If anything, you want more rotation. More rotation, less problems with low tone. More rotation, less problems with high tone. The rotation what adds to what you need, and that's what you're going to work with. So you're going to steer the boat the same way, right? But that's where you're going to have a bit more patience. I also, because of this, highly recommend. And this was raising a child with neuromuscular conditions. It's on my resource page, but I just can't. I'm horrible with names. Can't remember the author, and I feel so insulting to her when I say that. But she just really wrote a great book. I don't care how good your neurologist is, she says, and I can't even quote her because I can't remember her name. Get a baseline. You want to go to a cardiologist because you don't want these subluxations and collagen issues and so forth in the cardiac. You don't want it in the lungs. You don't want it. take care of the big ones first, gastro, ENT, whatever, but at the same time too, you eventually want to go to an endocrinologist, just to make sure that that part of the body is not affected as much as that. I think it's more of a collagen issue than like a neurotic or that kind of thing that you're going to check on. But you still want to proceed with your movement education in the same manner.